Welcome back to Beyond the Headline, everyone. You've chosen a super exciting day to be with us because I'm with my friends Galyn and Christina, the founders of Primary. Thank you guys for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Can you give us an update? Last time we spoke was right after a launch in March.
Yeah, a lot has happened since then. It's crazy that it was already 8 months ago. We've been really hard at work, and I think the best part of it is that now we're able to interact with customers, and so it's not just about thinking of the idea and thinking through the execution, but actually now living it and sort of understanding how customers are interacting with our brand and our products. Learning a lot from all of those interactions has been incredible and has helped us to sort of continue to shape the experience and the product and the brand that we hope customers will continue to love as we grow.
I click on every one of the posts that I see, and whether it was for Halloween, you guys did such an excellent job of taking your clothes and turning them into Halloween costumes. Where did you guys get the inspiration for that?
Well, really take a step back with all of our marketing. It's so important, especially in the early days when you have limited resources to market, that everything come back to the kind of brand values and that are fundamental. And for us, those are simplicity, authenticity, creativity, and empowerment. Those are the 4 brand values. They're really fundamental to Primary. And so as soon as we start to market, we're thinking about those things in every execution. A lot of the marketing that you're seeing on Facebook and really everywhere is celebrating the amazing colors and simplicity of our clothing and the fact that they aren't embellished with characters and logos and sayings and things like that, and that in keeping them simple, it lets kids really shine and be themselves and have fun with them. And so that's consistent across a lot of the marketing. And I think it's really just a special opportunity for our clothing to be the basis for a lot of fun and creativity around creating DIY costumes. And so we really did have a fun campaign around that, encouraging people to be creative with our basics.
What do you guys think has been really instrumental in crafting that brand voice? Because I realized the other day, I love Primary so much, and on the surface, I don't really have a reason to be so excited and check the website. I don't have kids, and until last week, I couldn't fit in the clothes. But every time I saw a post, I would click.
I think it's a few things. I think the authenticity piece is a big part of it, where we're not trying to be anyone, and we're not, sort of putting a brand over there and saying, like, this is what we want Primary to sound like. It really is us sort of talking, and the team that we've built talking to customers about things that we care about. And so I think that's a part of it that, we hope that the conversation with our customers via marketing and other things feels like a conversation that you would be having with a friend, because we are right behind it. It's sort of us talking always. The other thing is that we're excited to just have fun with the brand. And so I think having fun and taking opportunities to recognize things that we're thinking about and that they're doing and stuff like that just makes for great content that we're sort of excited to highlight. And so I think that's part of it too.
I think that's it. We're inspired to create this brand, and we are hopefully inspiring people around it. And so it's just much more than basic clothes. And so we're really excited to sort of inspire people around the kind of lifestyle that they can have and how much fun you can have with our brand.
Yeah, I think too, we made a very conscious decision early on to invest in building the brand with an incredible creative director that we've talked to you about before, and a copywriter too, who are sort of, for a startup, thinking about how to describe resources, or maybe to hires that aren't as obvious at the very beginning to a lot of companies. But for us, we knew that was going to be so critical, and to sort of visually bring the brand to life, and also, sort of put a voice out there that was strong and ownable for the brand Primary was really important. And so Angela and Tiffany have been unbelievably important for us in sort of being able to express sort of out in the world the things that we care about and the things that we love. And so that's a huge part of it.
I think that the authenticity always stands out, because even the wording on the site for your products, it's the reversible twirly, not the dress that can be reversible that just sounds boring.
Right.
And it even resonates with the kids that are wearing your clothes, you guys have a great video review from a little girl who's demoing her dress and explaining how it's reversible and how much she loves it. How excited do you guys get when you see stuff like that?
It's awesome. I think that's the whole thing. And, we were excited to create a business here and sort of be entrepreneurs. It really was always about connections with customers and building a brand that both parents and kids love and that means something to them. And so that's the best part. That's sort of why we show up here every day. And so the more feedback like that we see, sort of the more excited we are to keep at it and make it better.
And what's nice is that customers take the time to contact us and tell us what they love about the brand. Those are the moments that are most rewarding as a founder, whether they're telling us that they have a child who has sensory issues and that our sort of super soft tagless clothing works really well for them, or whether they just have a kid who will only wear the color orange. And so they have trouble finding that at a moment's notice, but they know now that it's part of our palette and they can always find clothing in that color. So many reasons, but people take the time to tell us why it works for them, and that's the most rewarding.
Yeah, and take the time too to tell us about the things that they want. So size 12 is an example of, a lot of customers were asking about it, you too, for their kids and themselves. And so, recognizing that, seeing patterns like that emerge that, maybe we hadn't necessarily thought of up front, but taking all that feedback and really listening to customers and having that be the guide for what we're going to do next versus, we have an idea and this is what the roadmap looks like, just being sort of flexible and sort of seeing what's resonating with customers and what they're asking for, which is great. I think we had an idea, of course, with primary about what's missing in the market for us, but we're so excited to learn and evolve and sort of, see where primary can go from here.
So I know that one of those additions was having the baby suit and the long sleeves with the Peter Pan collar. When you get that insight from the number of customers you need to know you want to execute it, what's the next step?
Yeah, so I think it's really, sort of we've heard from customers and it's either it's a number of customers we're hearing from or the passionate plea, the level of passion that the customer to their ask. And in this case, it was sort of more the passion than the number of customers that were asking for it. And so, the next step for us was saying, okay, does this fit as sort of an incremental style within the primary assortment? Because that's so important for us, is making sure that we stay very true to our mission of sort of offering the one of every style that kids need so that the assortment doesn't become complicated or sort of overwhelming. And so that's the first question is, does this sort of work as an incremental style? And it felt like it did. A different use case sort of can sit side by side with everything else that we're doing. And so that was important. And then it's about thinking about what is the best Peter Pan baby suit that we can develop. And so working with the design team to think about, sort of functionality, how should it fit over kids' heads, what should the collar look like, sort of making all those choices, deciding what fabric it should be in, and then sort of starting to prototype it with our factory partners. And then the last decision really is how many colors we want to do it in and what they are, which is fun. And I think, we had some learnings when we introduced the Peter Pan baby suit on what's selling just generally in baby. And because we're so passionate about color and want to be able to offer all of our styles in as many colors as possible, sort of put a stake in the ground on, okay, we're going to launch with these colors, but let's learn on those and see what else we should introduce from here. And so that's sort of the process, but it's about, probably 4 months or so from, okay, we really want this style to being able to offer it in the marketplace.
What's your favorite part of the design process?
I think my favorite part is seeing things that I never would have expected to love and falling in love with them. I think when we started thinking about the design and the aesthetic of primary, it started really close to home, which was the things that our kids wear that we've loved, the things that are go-tos that they grab every time they're walking out of the house or that we just naturally grab for them because they're so easy and awesome and we know that our kids are going to love them. But I think taking that and working with our design team, who is incredible, and starting to see things in a different way, sort of through their eyes, but marrying that with practical parent this is what my kids are going to love and want to wear every day, has been such a fun sort of evolution and sharing of opinions, and getting to a place that we think is like the right answer on both of those fronts, aesthetically amazing, but also really functional and just the go-to.
It's fun to think about what something that someone would truly be passionate about. Mm-hmm. And so that's a fun filter to think about. No, it's really the same point. And so that's really fun, but great design involves a combination of vision and restraint. And that's even more true with us than I think it is with anyone else because of our commitment to essentials. But in that, there are these moments of that would be the perfect addition to that style to really make it just special enough, and someone would be really passionate about it. So I think that's where a lot of the inspiration comes into play.
Yeah, we talked early on too, even before we started designing stuff, about just our approach and how, we're finished designing something when we can't take anything else away versus when we can't add anything more. And so staying true to that as the restraint that Christina was talking about just makes it feel, very primary versus sort of the approach that lots of other clothing companies are taking.
That's something that I've really admired about you guys is I've seen new products come in, you never veer from the mission. Like there's never anything with like primary and bedazzled letters.
Except for your Christmas hoodie, which we'll send
I'll accept the bedazzle. When you guys are in those design meetings and something comes up, someone saying, oh, maybe we could do polka dot or we could add this. Is it an immediate no, we have a mission, or do you explore a little bit?
Yeah, I think we're generally really open to conversations, and I think even if it's something that is immediate, like that's not right, we're just not people to quickly dismiss anything, because I think over the course of our time working together, certainly at Quincy, recognize that there's so much value in talking about the things you're not going to do, and so I think we're definitely open, and I think for us, the very firm stake in the ground on our mission is that we're going to offer things that we think are classic, which means that we really believe that people will want to buy them for 5 years, not for 5 weeks. And so I think things like polka dots and classic patterns like stripes and gingham have come up as potentially things that we would do down the road, because we believe that those are classic patterns and they're always going to be in demand and they're not trendy and things like that. And so those feel totally reasonable, and there are lots of other examples like that. But I think the conversation has been more about when instead of what on some of the things. And so I think right now we recognize that there's so much opportunity and what we started to do with styles and curation and a range of colors that customers are really resonating with. And so that's been more the focus for now. And so it's really just about focus.
And I think that's right. You have to know what your playground is. And within that playground, you want to obviously keep the ideas flowing and be open. But you have to know what the boundaries of that playground are. And so if someone suggests that they want to put an Eiffel Tower on our t-shirt, the answer is just going to be no.
That's true. There are some definite no's, yes.
So yeah, keep that one, and I'll vote for the stripes.
Okay, cool. We have gotten votes for stripes, so I think, we're open.
Stripes are a classic. It's never going to go out of style.
Right.
Definitely.
Yeah.
As you think of everything you guys are working on more of the tactical side and making decisions as a founder, what surprised you?
I think something we were talking about earlier, from pre-launch to post-launch, surprising for us how hard it is to continue to work on things together, and the sort of critical importance of making sure that although we're 100% partners and trust her so much and need to work together on everything, that it's actually impossible to do it and sort of be effective and get everything done that we need to. And so that was surprising. I think we had the luxury before launch of really getting to spend a ton of time together and think through everything, every big decision, every small decision together.
We wrote almost every email together.
Right, it's true. And so I think, it was surprising that we just couldn't do it. And we tried for a while to make it work and continue to both be really involved and everything, and we just couldn't. And so we were able to really divide and conquer and have sort of clear responsibilities set around, I sort of focus more on the product side, Christina focuses more on the marketing side, and I think it's working. But it was a surprise and not something that we expected, and so it was good that we could sort of talk through and come up with like a pretty clear division.
Yeah, we hear other founders talk about this, and I think it's an important point for founder partners as they really do start to divide and conquer. It becomes critical, it becomes very liberating, and then you have other challenges of needing to make sure that you do stay connected on those things so that you don't feel sort of alone and managing a really big part of the business. But it is definitely super helpful to efficiently manage the business to divide and conquer in that way.
When do you guys come together to conquer? To make sure that everyone's on the same page.
We
Constantly in
right
communication.
Like this. Yeah.
So it sort of happens naturally. But when we're heads down in our respective areas, it is important to kind of come up for air and make sure that we talk about things so that it's important to feel like we're always holding hands on the most important decisions, that we're committed together. And then we can each sort of focus on making sure that we execute very well against that.
Yeah, I think an important part of that too, and making sure we're connected, is just being able to ask for help. And so, there are things where you sort of want very much the other person to sort of trust that you've got it and you can handle it, but that never means that you can't like ask for guidance or say like, you know what, I have no idea what to do in this situation, or I really need your help thinking through this. I'm sort of not able to figure it out. And just making sure that keeps happening, because I think, the tendency is to want to be able to handle it all and not bother the other person, but it's never a bother. And so I think just keeping that like ask for help ongoing has been really good for us to stay connected on the things that are most important. Like if it's really hard for one of us to figure something out, it means it's probably pretty important. And so merits us both spending time on it together.
What are the most important things you guys are focusing on moving forward?
Most important at the highest level is obviously that we just want to continue to build a brand that parents do truly love and are passionate about. And that means being very focused on a few areas, from the product itself to the experience that we're creating, and certainly how we're projecting that into the marketplace to really make sure that everybody knows about it. And so those are sort of the key areas. Mm-hmm. And you're seeing us sort of enhance the product assortment. Hopefully you see our service getting better and better, and you'll see more of us out there in the marketplace to sort of spread the word about what we're doing.
Yeah, and a big part of that is about continuing to build the team. And so we have a core group here, obviously, that is incredible and collaborative and smart and passionate and awesome. And so building on the sort of early team with people who can sort of bring the same level of passion to the specific areas that we know we need help with is a big part of what's going to enable this brand to continue to grow and be successful. And so I think the more that Christina and I are doing ourselves and have learned from early on, the more we sort of know like exactly who we need and what we need them to focus on. And so it's been a really good learning. I think, continuing to build a team from here will be a huge focus.
And I know that we all say we want to bring on passionate team members to work with us, but how do you actually know when you're talking with someone that they're going to be super passionate when they're on board?
It's a good question. I think this is one where it's just like a lot of gut sort of instinct on, we're super authentic, and so whenever we interview someone, we're going to talk to them about the things we're excited about. And it's sort of, it's obvious, but it's, the level of engagement that they bring back, and are they asking questions, and are they offering up ideas, and, sort of you can tell by the pace of the comments and the level, how loudly they're talking about it and things like that is, a good guide of whether or not they're excited about what we're doing. And then just this sort of general inclination to be passionate or not overall has a lot to do with how they talk about the things that they've worked on in the past. And so if you ask someone to tell you about the things that they have loved doing or that they're most proud of, and they don't sound excited, then I don't think it's going to work.
If they can't fit into primary, you just say,
Yes, also that.
There's a rule. You have to be 10 years old.
That would be a good team. Yeah, really good.
Do you guys actually get a lot of product feedback from kids who say what they like or don't like?
It's a good question. Through parents and our own kids, for sure. And so we've heard, via parents, my kids think this is really soft, my kids are obsessed with this color, things like that. But we haven't actually done anything to solicit feedback from kids.
That's a fun idea. Yeah. I think otherwise we do, as you know, we invest a lot in our product photography. It's a key feature of our site. And so in our photo shoots, we have a lot of kids who are mostly our friends and family. We have an opportunity there to really see the kids interacting with the clothes and to hear their comments. And in our last photo shoot, we took some video and things like that. So that's a fun opportunity for us to get direct feedback. And you can see if it's, of course, very helpful to observe a child in your clothing. Either you can tell if they're digging it or if they really just want to take it off as soon as possible. And we don't have too many instances of that.
No, and actually a good indicator from the photo shoot was that one of my neighbors was saying, "Can I pre-order this?" Which made me really happy.
I love the kids know about pre-order. Yeah.
So that's a good sign. She's going to be the best customer.
Totally. Yeah, Andrew's good. It's good.
Before we go, we always like to focus on just 3 questions that are more life questions and don't have to do with work. So the first one is, if you were a song, each of you, what song would you be?
I'm not afraid. Is that an Eminem song?
I don't know. It sounds amazing.
Which one did you say?
It's a Lion song. I'm not afraid.
I love it.
Okay, that's a good one. It's a great
Okay, I
one.
can't remember if that's the name of the song, but I do think that is a good one for us and for any entrepreneur, because to be successful, you just obviously can never operate from a place of fear. You have to operate with conviction and passion and belief, or it's just never going to work.
Yeah, mine's related to this belief thing. It has to be Journey, Don't Stop Believing, which is, just like always makes me happy. So yeah, that's mine.
Those are good ones, and now I feel super awkward because mine is Ice Ice Baby. And I can't relate that to anything.
I do take a lot of pride in my ability to do this dance, and so maybe next time we'll have a little
We'll have to do
Skype
that.
dance.
Sounds like a plan. Question 2. What is the best gift you've ever received?
It's hard.
That is hard.
Something for my kids, probably. I
think the gifts from the kids are hard to beat. I had gone on a business trip once and came back and the kids had made me a video with a song that they had written themselves. That's sort of hard to beat. That was pretty amazing. Very creative. Super fun. Not great singers, either one of them. But
It's the thought that counts.
Yeah, I think, I'm looking around the office actually, and my kids were in one day and as a surprise, went out to the store with their babysitter and got some big paper and drew actually the primary logo for me and sort of gave it to the whole team. And that is sort of rewarding in a different way, maybe, where so thoughtful, obviously so creative and awesome, but just sort of recognizing that they know how important this company is to me too, and that they want to be a part of it is awesome. So it's a good one. I'm sitting right here.
Great. And speaking of Christmas morning and all of the different holiday mornings, how can everyone stay up to date with Primary so they can get some big Primary boxes around the house for the holidays?
Great question. Thank you. I think really it's, sort of checking back on our website. We have tons of red and green and festive colors coming in. And we're also going to be introducing new gift sets. So for baby and just sort of the easy grab and go perfect gifts that kids will like, which is somehow really difficult, even in everything that's available to find. And so those are coming.
We will have some special offers around the holidays, so if you sign up for email with us, you'll be sure to find out about them. You can also check us out on social media and find them there. But we're excited and would love for people to check us out over the holidays, and definitely we'll get some great offers.
Perfect. Well, thank you guys as always for being here. It was a blast.
Thanks,
Jenna.
Talk to you soon.